Once you've logged in, you're going to spend most of your time in the tracking menu. This will show you the current or last reported location of your vehicles. You can view the historical location and movement of them, as well as setting geofences. Clicking on the tracking menu, we can see the map is set to wherever we were centered at first, last. Clicking on the tracking menu, we can see that the map is centered where we last viewed it. If we select a vehicle, we can see its current location. We can hit the information button, see its approximate location, how long it's been parked. If we hold our mouse over it, we can see when the status was last updated. We can view and set the odometer as well as engine hours, as well as viewing some previous events or alerts. If we want to change the map, we can do so clicking in the upper right. We can set it to Google Street Maps, the OpenStreetMaps versions, Google Satellite, and then the hybrid, which combines the road names along with the satellite. If we hit on history, we can view the past movement of the truck. We can set for a single day just by clicking on a particular date. If we click twice, it'll get rid of the multi-date span, or we can click any arbitrary 2 dates as long as they're no more than 30 days apart and view that historical info. I'm going to select last Friday. This gives us a large number of tracks. We can view all of them all at once by hitting the checkbox when they're all congealed together. And that'll show us all the different trips that were taken in that particular day. However, that's a lot to take in at once. So we can unselect that. If we click anywhere along this vertical or horizontal line here, it'll break it out into onesie, twosie trips. We can see that there's a number of trips taken here, and we'll just take a look at one in particular, from the Maverick gas station to some arbitrary point here. Now, as you might have seen from the name, this is an ice cream truck, so he's going to be meandering through the neighborhood pretty slowly. We can look at one or more of these trips at a time by selecting as many as we want to see. They're color-coded differently so that you can distinguish between them. You might also notice there's these little arrows here and there. Typically, when a tracker is sent to you, it is configured to report its location if the vehicle is off once per hour. If the vehicle is on and underway, it will report once every 30 seconds with its location. But if you turn more than 15 degrees left or right, it'll give another update. So we get these nice, pictures following the road here. Last, if we see these little arrows along the path, those are individual check-ins that we can click and see that when the date and time was of the report, what the speed, how far into the trip they were in both terms of distance and time. We can select multiple of these at once and then click either the arrow to get rid of it or the box itself. We can also click on the details and see the entire distance, travel time, speed, etc. for that particular leg of the trip. Another feature is the geofences. And this is going to be if you want to set alerts for when a vehicle has entered or is leaving a particular location. We've set this system up for an alert that will tell the owner when the ice cream truck is getting back to its main parking area. If we click on geofences, we can select that particular geofence, and we can see the various, definition of how that is defined. We can also edit the geofence. Zooming in here a tad, and we can take these segments and move them around as we see fit. Now you might notice that the dots in the middle are a little more dim than the dots on the corners. This is done intentionally so that we can create a new line definition and then new faint dots pop up. Now if we don't like what we just did, we can just double click, and it's back to the way it was. So you can make irregular shapes, ones that follow roadways, boundary markers, etc. If you want something simpler, we're going to discard these changes. We can also add a circle geofence, in which case you center the circle. We can set the radius either manually or just by clicking and dragging. You can set its name, and you can even set the color that it's showing. I'm going to cancel that one though. Another feature is if we want to see all the vehicles that are currently inside that geofence, if you have a large number of them, you can click on the information for that particular geofence and see which ones are contained therein.